Today I'll be making Polvorone Biscuits, as it is known in Belize, or Polvorones. You're watching the Bear Pantry Show.
You're watching Bear Pantry Show.
Okay guys, so when I was making all those videos last week for the Valentine's Week video blitz, I made a 3-ingredient cookie that I thought reminded me a lot of the Polvorone biscuits. Please forgive me, my Spanish-speaking viewers, if I'm saying it wrong, because I think it's Polvorones for the Spanish-speaking people, but in Belize we call it Polvorone. So I'm probably going to use them back and forth, right? Take a look at the ingredients that we're going to need. It's a cup of butter, half cup of confectioner's sugar, 3 teaspoons of baking powder, 1 teaspoon of salt, and this is actually 2 cups of all-purpose flour, but not quite. Let me tell you why it's not quite. We need self-rising flour, and I didn't have any, so I measured out the 2 cups, and then I subtract out flour out of it to add back in baking powder and salt. So the equivalent is, for every cup of flour, when you're trying to make self-rising flour, you take out 1.5 teaspoons of flour, and actually you take out 2 teaspoons of flour and you add back in 1.5 teaspoons of baking powder and half teaspoon of salt. So you're still adding back your 2 teaspoons of dry ingredients, but you're separating it that way, okay? So that's why it's kind of 2 cups, but not quite. So the first thing that we're going to do when we get started, of course, is to cream the butter and the sugar. So let's get that started. So the first thing I'm doing is creaming the butter and the sugar. I want to make sure that it's blended in really well and smooth. Then I add the baking powder and the salt and make sure that gets in there really well too. And then I stop for a moment to add about half of the flour. If you don't get to add like exactly a half, don't worry about it, okay? Just add some of it. And the reason for doing that, of course, is because we don't want it to go flying everywhere when we turn back on the mixer. And now it's time to add the rest of my flour and make sure I mix it in really, really well. And I'm scraping the bowl down often to get everything in. And by the way, this dough is not going to be sticky, all right? It's going to be more powdery. So I vaguely remember it having some kind of essence or extract in it when I used to eat that cookie in Belize. So I'm going to add, you guys, I'm testing this cookie on camera. If it comes out good, I'm putting it up. I'm going to add like 2 teaspoons of vanilla extract. If you have almond extract, because I think that's in there too, you could trade one out. Instead of adding 2, add 1 each. Just blend it in really well again. And if you guys notice, this cookie dough is not sticky. It's just like the 3-ingredient cookie dough that we did. It feels kind of damp but not sticky, all right? So I'm going to get my hands in there. And then we're going to see what we have, all right? Yeah, this feels awesome. This feels awesome. Let me get it dumped out on the counter. I really like how this dough feels. It's so soft and pliable. Look how beautiful it is. Now let's get it all worked in. Okay guys, so I have it on the counter. It didn't even take, not even 10 seconds to get it like this. It feels really nice. Although it's not sticky, it's smooth. Kind of feels like Play-Doh. So what I want to do, I don't want to mess with it right now, okay? I'm going to roll it out like into a log. And we're not going to do that cube like we did with the last cookie, the 3-ingredient cookie. Although I'm tempted to do that because I like the way it came out kind of square. What do you guys think about a square polvorone? No, we're not going to mess with that. We'll do it round like we're used to. So I'm just going to roll this out like into a log. And I'm going to go ahead and wrap it in some shrink wrap or saran wrap. Put it in the refrigerator for about ½ hour and then I'll be back. Alright guys, so it's been a ½ hour since the dough's been in the fridge. Take a look at it. It feels pretty good. So all I'm going to do, because I'm not going to cut them square like we did with the last cookies, I'm going to cut off a piece. It feels really good. It's really good to handle. I'm going to roll it, put it on a grease cookie sheet. I'm going to take a tumbler or a glass and I'm going to squish it as flat as I want it to go. Okay? Because they're not going to fall. When you have a cookie dough that's not sticky, you just can't set them or drop them and they're just going to spread because they're not soft enough, so they're not going to fall. So this is what I'm going to do with the rest of the dough. Cut off a piece and try to get it as round as I can go. Let's see how this one goes if I don't put it into a ball. Okay, let's see how it goes. Let's see. Yeah, I don't like the shape of that one. I like this shape better. So, and this one didn't even have any sugar. I'll sprinkle a little bit. So that's what I'm going to do with the rest of them, all right? I'm just going to cut off a piece. I'm going to squeeze it like this into the shape of a ball. I'm going to go ahead and roll it in the sugar, put it on the thing and squish it with the glass, and I'm going to do all of them, and at the end I'm going to let you guys know how much I got. I'm going to bake it in an oven set at 350 degrees Fahrenheit for about 20 to 25 minutes till they're goldeny brown, and then when I come back we're going to see the finished product, okay? Alright guys, so the cookies are done. Take a look. Aren't they just beautiful? After they came out of the oven, right when they were still warm, I sprinkled a little bit more sugar on top, okay? Because I remember it having sugar when I was a child growing up in Belize. So I've got, I think I told you guys I got 13. I didn't eat any. And look at this one, how it's jacked up because I pressed it against the back of the baking sheet. Anyways, they're gorgeous. They feel stiff. I haven't tasted any yet. Like I said, I'm a good girl today. So let me go ahead and do that now. I'm going to taste this jacked up one. Nice and hard. I don't know if they're as hard as I remember Polvorone Biscuits in Belize. Oh, or Polvorone. I have to say it correctly. But they taste really, really good. They're, you know, hard. I don't know if they're as hard. They taste fantastic. Don't eat too much of these, okay? One and put the rest away. If you like the video, hit like below for me. Share it with your friends and family. And as we go along, we're going to be trying more things from my youth in Belize. I'm getting very nostalgic, guys. Thanks so much for picking up my book. And thanks for all the love and the support that you give me, all right? Until I see you guys again, take care. Please check out my review channel right here on YouTube. It's called Bear Pantry Talk. Also, check out my vlog channel. It's called Babs Bear Talk.